Hello and welcome to Council Agenda. I'm Dan Gindler. Council Agenda gives city councilors an opportunity to come on and talk about things going on the ward level or on the citywide level. And this is our last show of 2009, so we're very pleased to have Council President Arthur Vigeant here. Arthur, how are you?
Fantastic. How about yourself?
I'm well, thank you. You've got your Santa tie on, you're ready to go.
I got my Santa tie on. Christmas is next week. Closing down the year, have the tax rate behind us. We're ready to close out the year and move into 2010.
Perfect. One thing I do want to go back to is the elections. Just all the debates, all the back and forth with candidates, and after all that, the voters spoke, and they chose to bring everybody back. The only one not returning is Scott Schaefer because he stepped down. What kind of a message did that send for you to the City Council?
Well, I think the people out there know we're trying our best. We're doing a pretty good job. We're in a situation in a financial position that is the envy of the entire state, and I think the public realizes that and appreciates that, and we work well as a group. It was like you said, it was a united front of 11 councilors. Scott decided not to run again, so there was a heated race down there, and I think it's going to be another good year for the council in 2010. We're going to work together and make sure we look out for the public and the residents' best interest.
Looking back over the previous 11 months of 2009, what were you most proud of that the City Council accomplished?
Well, it's been a difficult year in trying to keep everyone going in the same direction. It's an election year, which kind of changed some dynamics a little bit, but we kind of kept that to the side and kept going with the business at hand. And like I said, we put ourselves in a great financial position. We were able to use some of that money that we have in reserves to kind of lower the tax rate a little bit. And unlike most communities out there, we're actually going to see about a $64 decrease in the average tax bill out there next year.
That's great.
It really is. And we've all worked on that together. We're working with the mayor's office. We had to encourage her to put a little more money up front on that, but she agreed after she saw the entire council was really encouraging her to put more money up. She wasn't excited about it at first, but she decided that she would put the extra $1 million in. And like I said, it's only a small savings, but it is a savings. It's better than going the other way.
Mm-hmm. And as we look forward to 2010 now, what do you think will be the toughest tests for the City Council and maybe the mayor as well to face?
Well, the finances are going to be front and center the entire year. We still don't, or I don't believe we're done with our 9C cuts, and the schools are going to be facing difficult decisions up there, as well as we have some capital projects that we want to get moving on. Mm-hmm. We have some bonding that we want to get done for some equipment and some technology, keeping in mind that we have two of the largest employers in the city that are pulling roots. HP's basically out of their building down there in the industrial park. Fidelity's really scaling back to next to nothing. Those are the types of things that we need to, as a city council and administration, keep on the front burner and try to fill those vacancies down there. And we need to work with the companies we have down there before they leave, before they make the decision to leave, and explain to them why Marlboro's a great place to be.
Well, and as you just said, Marlboro is a great place to be, and it's been a place where it seems a lot of big companies like to come and they like to stay. So because of the economy, I keep hearing that, we're on the way back up slowly but surely. Is it really difficult to convince them to come out here in these economic times?
Well, I think something we haven't done in the past and we need to do is to make sure we reach out to the companies that are here. You can name off the 5 or 10 companies down in the industrial park, but there's hundreds of companies in the industrial park that have, 5, 10, 20, 30 employees that maybe don't even know where Main Street is. They're down there, they're doing their work, they're not looking for anything from us, and we're not looking for anything from them. Mm-hmm. But it's introducing ourselves, hey, we're here if you do need something, and make them feel like they're part of the community, and so they don't, get offered something in Lowell or Lawrence or Westboro or Shrewsbury and decide to move down the road when their lease comes up. You know, with everything being international and through the internet, they can almost be anywhere and do their job. Fidelity's the big example of that. They can do that from anywhere. Everything's on the telephones or on the internet. They don't need that prime location in Marlboro, and they realized that and decided to pull roots out of here. And luckily, they own some of one or two of the buildings down there, so they're not going to be able to pull those out. And we still get tax revenue from those buildings, but we want to see them filled up. We don't want empty buildings down there.
Are there businesses, because there are businesses who come in, they plant themselves, and they just really don't have much to do with the city, but do you find that there are businesses out there who want to work with the council, and is that helpful to the council?
Oh, there's no question about it. I mean, we've had Boston Scientific come through, 3Com, SciTech, Roman Haas or Dow Chemical now, and Shipley, and those people down there have been tremendous with the city. And then you have the smaller employers, you know, people like St. Mary's that can't do enough for the city. We've just worked with Marlboro Savings Bank to make sure they kept their roots here, and they're working on their new facility at the corner of Granger Boulevard. It was a long process for them, but we're so happy that they've decided to stay and expand here. I believe that was 47 jobs. You know, it's those small ones make up, you know, the largest employer in the city, and sometimes we don't pay attention to that. It's the mom and pops on Main Street that have 2, 3, 5 employees that, you know, we have to keep these storefronts filled. And we're very fortunate down here to have a great Main Street, but you can't take your eye off the ball for 1 minute. Right. You know, the commercial industrial base in this city is the reason we've been able to do the things we have. It's not some, you know, a great thing that Mayor Stevens pulls out of her hat, or the city council makes one decision and changes everything. Right. It's these companies that, because of the taxes they pay, we have a great industrial base, and they're the reason we have the opportunities we have to talk about doing in the next development. You know, whether it's the library or the senior center or something, you know, I'm sure we're gonna get a project off the ground this year, and we should be proud of that.
What are you looking forward to city-wise in 2010?
Well, again, it's going to be a tight budget year.
Right.
I'm sure the mayor's, you know, knows that we're not going to be able to have the 5 or 7 or 10% increase in the budget. And last year, she came in with a good budget. We're adding things back to it, which is making me a little bit nervous. So that $1 million savings last year isn't probably going to be there at the end of the year. But, you know, it's just, we need to stay within our budget, live within our means, and make sure that everyone understands that's elected in the city, that a lot of people, that we have a very high unemployment rate. We're fortunate here, it's not as high as statewide or nationally, but we still have an unemployment rate that's unacceptable, and we have to keep that in mind when we're raising taxes for pay increases or new hirings or spending the taxpayers' money. So we're going to have a tough year, but working with the city employees and the administration and the rest of the council, if we all stay together on it and work together, I'm sure we'll be able to get through it.
How do you break in a new guy on the council like Matt Elder? What do you do?
Well, it's kind of funny because I've tried to sit down the last 10, 12 years since you know, after I was around for a couple of years, and I just sit down with them and talk to them, and, you know, hey, you know, stand up as soon as you're ready to stand up and talk, but please don't pitch in until you know what you're talking about, because I want, you know, I want to make sure that you're okay with things, and you know, it's just, we all go out there and try to do the best we can, and the guy next to you could totally disagree with you, but we're trying to do the best we can. We have 11 different viewpoints there. The thing we have with this council that we maybe didn't have 12, 14 years ago was there's no personal infights between the councilors. The personal shots, are few and far between, and when they do, A couple of us always jump in and say that's enough,
Yeah.
and we can't have that out there because once it starts, it's like a cancer, and it's tough to get rid of it.
Yeah, it doesn't help the
No, it
the
doesn't
bottom
help
line.
the process.
Well, before we say goodbye to 2009, I know that you wanted to give a shout out. We're going to switch gears here a little bit, talk about some sports.
Yeah.
Marlboro Panthers football team.
Unbelievable.
What a great run.
Fantastic year for all the guys on the football team. It really was. A couple cold games at the end there, a couple wet games at the end, but you know what? They did a fantastic job. They should really hang their heads high because they did something that hasn't happened in, what was it, 29 years.
Yeah.
And they went toe-to-toe with a great St. John's team that they go out and recruit some players. They got a lot of boys up there in that school. And Marlboro High went toe-to-toe with them. They didn't have their best game of the year. I sure wish they had, but they had a great season, undefeated for the entire season, winning the first playoff game, and really showed, I think, that day in the snow and the rain and the lousy weather that they deserve to be on that team. And I congratulate the entire football team and the coaches and the staff and the players. They did a great job.
All right. Well, Arthur, thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you for having me again.
All right. You have been watching Council Agenda on WMCT-TV. I'm Dan Ginden. Happy holidays and Happy New Year.